I was talking to Colorado therapist Stacy Schaffer. We're talking about grief and parental conflict and how to help your kids. And we were in the middle of talking about how to recognize when your kid is really suffering, especially in terms of grieving the parental conflict. Let me just see if Stacy's back. I don't see her yet. Oh my gosh, I hate when this happens. Here she is. Okay. Anyhow, um, she was talking about shiny perspective. I thought it was going to be. Let me try this again. I thought a shiny kid was someone who. Um, there you are.
There.
Yeah, I was saying that like the shiny kid. I just pictured something different, but I really like your
Mm.
definition, which is basically someone who's suffering on the inside, but masking, like doing really well on the outside, like succeeding and getting good grades, and perhaps a little
Mm.
bit of perfectionism, and the attention's going to the kid who might be in trouble or showing whatever.
Yeah. And a lot of my experience with a lot of kids of divorce is that they are very aware that divorce costs so much money,
Mm-hmm.
that, there's so many fees involved. And so I hear kids express to me a lot of guilt for the things that they like to do. I have
Really?
one. Oh yeah, they're just like I'm thinking of one in particular that has a very like specialized interest sport, and it's expensive, and it's been an intense divorce, and so there that the use of like money with one of the parents is saying like kind of dangling that like anytime there's like a chore that's undone, be like, we pay for this, and like remember like we're struggling because of XYZ, which the kid didn't ask for.
Yeah.
And so I had one this week already talk to me about feeling guilty about Christmas already because of the money that their parents have been forking out for divorce, and they're like, I think I'm not going to ask for anything, and I feel bad for wanting things.
That is so heartbreaking.
Yeah, yeah. And so we talked about like, I talk a lot with kids about locus of control, because in so many scenarios, like kids don't have power, right? Because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
inherently, they can't drive, that, so many things. And so, but I like to empower kids with what they do have power over, because there's a lot. They
Mm-hmm.
have power over their inner thoughts, their emotions, their reactions, like their love, their intensity of relationships. And so I like to talk to them about like what they can do. Because they're just like, I'm stuck like here in the middle. Um, and a kid told me that they felt like they were in the middle of tug of war.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what would it be like if you didn't pick up the rope? Because I feel like in the middle, picking up the rope, what if we were able to recognize we have all this swirling around, but you didn't sign up for the game.
Mm-hmm.
So we can take a seat back. And so those kind of conversations, I think can help a little bit because kids, they participate in magical thinking. I don't know if you're familiar with that term, but
Yeah.
they,
Say it just in case for people who don't know what magical thinking is.
sure.
What's magical thinking?
Yeah. So the idea is that it's harder for a kid to believe that their world is out of control, than it's harder for them to believe that than that there's something wrong with them. So where kids go developmentally, is that they're like, I created something, there's something wrong with me, I
Mm-hmm.
created this. And I don't know if you're familiar, with the book, was it The Chocolate Pudding?
No.
Um, I didn't know why you would. I just didn't want to see him.
Yeah.
But it's for little kids. I have it. It's really cute. But it's with these two little kids and their parents are in divorce, and like before the divorce, there was this like haha family thing where story about like chocolate pudding got on the wall and blah blah blah. And so it comes out like later, not much later because it's kids book, but a little
Yeah.
bit later, that like the kid is having all these big feelings to mom and was like, is the reason for the divorce the chocolate pudding?
Hmm.
And the mom's like, what are you even talking about? And so, but like that is the essence of magical thinking, that it's like, surely like it's not the grown-ups, it's me. And that's why they didn't want to stay together, because of me. And
Yeah,
so,
we always hear how
yeah.
kids blame themselves.
Right. And that's magical thinking. And so I think those important conversations need to happen about like, I know you might blame yourself. And like, and there are things, that there's like elements like that. I don't know, a tough medical condition, or there's just elements, but I'm like, ultimately, like, that is about your parents' relationship. It's not anything about you. And I know it'll take some time to not believe that, but it's really not. And I think some of that can be helpful, um, as they age, but especially young kids are prone to that.
Yeah, and I think it's really important. You picked up something that we talk a lot about with our own clients who feel like they can't control a lot of things, but how important it is to give their children the ability to have some agency in their own lives because they are
Yes.
so powerless. So can you give us some ideas of things like tips for parents to allow their children to have agency? Because I think a lot of people in these very difficult situations that our clients deal with, our community deals with, is they're just like, I'm lost. Like, just give me some guidance on what I can do right now to help my kids because they're suffering.
Yeah. I like, because there's so many things that get I hear from kids a lot that get lost, like, their soccer ball that has to go from house to house, or, like that kind of thing. And I think a lot of kids that I see struggle with anxiety, and
Hmm.
it's exacerbated. So I like there to be something that helps them self-soothe no matter where they go.
Hmm.
Because I'm like I tell kids, like, what's really cool is that no one can see inside your brain, and you can calm your own brain down. You don't need anyone's permission. And so we make it here. Well, I have two like rooms. The other one's like a therapeutic Disneyland, but this one's more chill. Um, but like we make a comfort kit, and put things in there that's like with their five senses that are comforting. And if it's like, perhaps maybe mom's house is more comforting, there's a picture of them and mom, like things in this kit that can help them soothe. Because the reality is, we can't fix this scenario.
Hmm.
It's the scenario. And I think in relation to grief, it's the same, right? Because somebody dies, we can't fix that, but we
Yeah.
can hold space for it. And we can give them tools in order to have it maybe not be as challenging as it could be. And so, like, I think it's honoring that, like, there's literally nothing I'm going to say to you that is going to make it better, because the facts are the facts, right?
Yeah.
And so, but here's what I can do to help you, like, feel held in the pain. Um,
Mm.
you
Wow.
know.
That's so helpful. That's really good. All right. So I love that idea. I haven't heard of that before. A comfort kit using sensory things, like let's say a
Yes.
photo. Are there, like, I know scent is very, very powerful. Are there
Yes.
certain smells that tend to be soothing, or things that kids can touch? I know it varies by kid, but
Mhm.
things that you notice that you frequently have them put in the
Yeah.
comfort kit.
So when I make them with kids, like, we do a whole little interview of stuff in there, five senses we like. But I'm glad you touched on scent, because that is the fastest sense to the brain. And
Ah.
so I don't care if you don't have a list of, because some kids are like, wow, like this and this and this. Smell of baked cookies. I had one kid said like the smell of like fresh rain. I'm like, well, it might be hard to put in the brain. And so like,
I like that. Very poetic, though.
it's really poetic. Yeah, there's a name for it too. And so to at least have a representative there, but like, pro tip, love sack, like the I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but love sack, the like beanbag people, Like you can get 5 free fabric samples at a time. And so they have not realized I don't plan to buy another Love Sack. I do have one. But I have a collection of fabric samples of all different textures.
Mhm.
And kids will tell me their parents have spent like money putting like the best fidgets in there. And I survey them, like, what's been helpful? Like, what did you use this week? And they're like, the fabric, because some of it feels like an animal that's at the other house, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. And so, like, I've been doing that for a while. I've gotten a lot of free fabric samples. Like, but I tell myself when I get the package, Stacey, you're using it for good, not evil. Like, good, not evil. And so, like, love you, love sack, sponsored. And so I do that. I always have them have some kind of fidget. I keep a collection of spiky rings. And I have some kids that like I will write them a note, like special permission to have it at school, because they're realizing, like as things update with school, that having like fidgets, like if they're used correctly, children, if they're used correctly, that they do actually like help with learning and not distract, because it like helps them like focus. So I like the idea of non-noisy fidgets like in there. Let's not annoy other people. One kid told me a long time ago, I like when fidget spinners were really popular, it was like, I got mine taken. And I was like, were you being annoying? They're like,
Mhm.
well, I was hitting it against the table. I'm like, you're being annoying. And so don't be annoying. Like, I'm like, you're ruining it for everyone else. And so like I asked one kid, like, what's something that you would see like that would be an insta happy for you? And they're like, you. And I'm like, that's pretty cute. So I give him a business card. And I have a therapy dog, and so she's on the picture. Um, and so like, but just things I think comfort from home. I like asked one mom, I'm like, can you write a series of notes for this comfort kit when we
Mhm.
go to dad's, to have that semblance of connection. And so I think that it's really empowering for kids, I've seen. And for all kinds of like anxiety issues, but to feel like, what, I don't need to go like broadcast it. I'm feeling this. I'm going to take my comfort kit and I'm going to comfort myself. And I tell them not everything works at like every time, because
Mhm.
just life. So I'd like there to be a variety of things available. So.
Oh my God, I love it. All right, so you've mentioned a few things like from mom's house. What about from dad's house? Are there, I mean, is it the same thing? Are there things you notice that are different that they want to take from their dad's house versus their mom's house?
Oh no, I was kind of using it generically.
Okay.
So like yeah, but I mean I think it just depends, right? Because like I have like someone like later that really dislikes one of the houses. And so
Hmm.
at that house, like it feels like we're in survival mode and like
Hmm.
countdown is on,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
that is really tricky. So I tell them that distraction is in fact a coping skill.
Okay.
And so that what they can do. And I was like, because the time will pass. The time will pass. You will be getting there. And I was like, but I would like you to not feel like you're suffering through it. So what can we do to make that time pass a little bit better? What could we create over at that house? What kind of project? What lesson can we learn like from YouTube?
Hmm.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Something that's occupying that time that there's nothing to do about it.
yeah,
Like that's how it's work parenting. That's how parenting time's working.
yeah. Like you're bored or you hate it, like there's, we can find stuff to do.
Right, right. And then it's like I was like, we can bemoan the whole time, but I don't think it would be beneficial to you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. See, this is so helpful. I'm so excited. I've
Oh,
been scribbling notes all over the place. And
thank you.
actually, we're working on a course that has to do with how to handle when an ex turns the kids against you. And we talked a lot about going from one house to the next and what parents can do to make the environment as peaceful as possible. And I am going to put this whole comfort
Yes.
kit idea in like in time before I finish this section of the course. So really, really
Yay.
awesome. I'm thrilled. I love like practical, actionable advice that people could do right now.
Right. Yeah. And because like I come from a lens of you're gonna take power from me, I'm gonna figure out how to get some. And
Mm,
so I like to like hand that thought over to kids when they're just like, everything's a worse. I'm like, it feels like that. And it might feel like there's no options, but there are. There are
yeah.
options. You know, and I
Wow.
was like, no one can see what's in here. No one. And I was like, so you can hate it at this house all you want. But also this is a time in your life that we don't want to say like that's just wasted. We want to use your time well.
Hmm.
It's your time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so helpful. All right, Stacy, how can people find you?
So my publishing company, and here, like here's my pretty book. It's purple. My publishing company made a website for me, authorstacyschaffer.com, and I'm guessing it'll be in the notes because there's lots of ways to spell Stacy and lots of ways to spell Schaffer. So authorstacyschaffer.com, and on there's a little bit about the book, a little like how to get the book, and then there's also a contact me form, like if you wanted to reach out to me, you're welcome to. And my Instagram is Hope Restored, and my Facebook is Stacy Schaffer.
Are you geographically limited, or can you only do Colorado, or could you do people from outside of Colorado?
I am licensed in Texas and Colorado.
Okay, good
Yeah.
to know. We
So,
have
yeah.
lots
And
of
so
people in
I'm
both.
open. I have another family that is asking me to pursue in another state. So that I might be in another state too. But the laws are soon changing, which is kind of fun because they're realizing it's dumb.
Mhm.
And so hopefully like to expand to like other states, like to have like reciprocity with other states, like that's coming in the future.
Okay, so for people that are watching and or listening to you now, they shouldn't hesitate to reach out just in case things change.
Just saying. Just saying.
Okay, good.
Just in case, because like it's gonna be 2026 people. So
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Stacy, so much for taking the time and giving these
yes.
awesome creative ideas. I love them.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, let's definitely stay in touch.
Okay.
Okay, bye.